Sharks, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you the strategy that I use to start breaking 90 very consistently. So, first step, I can see you in there, we're going to go into the bag and we're going to remove every club lower than a 6-iron. You just got to trust me on this. It may not be the most glamorous strategy, but if you actually care about getting in the clubhouse, seeing a little 88, a little 89, this is just a foolproof way, and this is exactly how I used to do it. So get every club out lower than a 6. 4-iron, definitely won't be needing that. Driver, nope. 5-iron, no way. And then you'll be left with that, kind of like a sad little scraggly bag. But trust me, there's no pictures on the scorecard. And when you're in that shop with 84, you'll be like, woof. The next step is to actually understand what breaking 90 means. So this is a par 72, which means we've got to play bogey golf to break 90. So what I'm going to do, and this is just for a mental thing, I'm just going to scribble out all of these pars, and I'm just going to add 1 to each of them. So par 4 to start with, 90 more, par 5, par 6, par 5, par 4, par 5, scribble, 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 4, 5, 5, 6, and that's just going to help me visualize my strategy. I'm going to show you more about how that plays into this, but what you're going to see is a lot of this is changing the way you think about golf, think about the course, in order to just break it pretty effortlessly if you do it this way. So first tee, you got a relatively short par 5, 358 yards off the white, creek about 200 down the middle, we're not going to be reaching that. 6-iron, let's go. Part of the strategy, and I've always been a big believer in this, is just playing a high quality ball. I know most beginners and amateurs worry about losing their ball, but as you're going to see, this strategy should limit that, so I think it's worthwhile investing in a good ball. I pretty much always play Pro V. This is actually Pro V1X because we're feeling tasty, but having a good ball just goes a long way with your confidence, touch, feel, control, and as you're going to see, ideally, when played correctly, you're not going to lose too many, so keep that in mind. And realistically, we've just come off the car, pretty much no warm-up, raw, and this is real life golf. Alright, not the cleanest strike in the books, but we're going to have a shot probably into the green, maybe another layup, but it's short par 5, so let's go. Basically developed this strategy based on 2 factors. The first ever lesson I had, the pro took me out onto the range and he was like, right, I want you to hit 3 balls with every club. And he saw me hit every club and he just came over and he was like, do you want to shoot low scores or do you want to have fun? And I was like, maybe both. And he was like, right, if you want to shoot low scores, here's what I recommend. And he took out every club lower than a 6-iron and he just said, we're not going to use these until you break 90. And I was like, alright, no problem. And then about a week after that, I was playing golf with an older chap who was just playing super solid, and I was like, how do you think about the game? And he was like, I hit it 150, 150, and then 150, and I'm always on the green 2 putts and I make bogey, and that's me consistent. And I was like, well, why don't I just try that? And that's essentially what this strategy is, because you can see here our tee shot, it's just in the first cut, but I'm eyeballing that, I'm going to get the GPS, but that's probably about 175 yards to the middle of the green on a par 5. So I've got 4 shots to make par from here, put a good strike on it. You do this consistently, you're going to see your scores tumble. So let's see what we can do. The next step is knowing the yardage to the middle of the green. And I know a lot of beginners think that there's no point tracking yardages or you don't hit it consistently enough, but you've got to start working on how far do I hit each club, and that only comes with practice, right? And then for this to work, we're just going to take out front, back, left, right, and just whatever this says is to the middle of the green, we're just going to hit that exact number. We're not going to worry about wind, we're not going to overthink it, we're not going to give ourselves decision fatigue. We're just going to see this 172, middle of the green, and I know 172 for me is going to be a pretty big 7-iron. So that's what we're going to hit. If that's a different club for you, and it's going to take you some time to obviously learn what they are, then you're just going to have to learn them, but at least having an idea. And I know, because I'm coming out the first cut, I'm going to get no spin. It's probably going to carry all of 172, so let's just see. But again, bunker at the front, water at the back, not really worried about hitting the pin. I've got 4 more shots from here. I'm just going to bonk this one. Just focus on a good strike. Okay, we hit that pretty pure, to be honest. Sit. just about right. It's probably going to just run off the back of the green, but we're basically on a par 5 and 2, right? So birdies. So we actually ended up pretty long out the back, which means I cut it pretty flush and coming out the rough with no spin. But we're here for 2. We've got to basically get this down in 3, 2 for a birdie. So I do pretty much all of my chipping with the 52, and I highly recommend that when you're new and you're trying to keep a lower score is to reduce decision fatigue. So whenever you're around the green, just pick whichever club that you're most comfortable with and just use that, because then you don't have to think about what am I using, how's the flight going to come out. You're just like, this is the club I chip with, I'm just going to put it close. And my goal here is to just put this within 6 feet for a birdie putt. I'm not looking to be too aggressive, I just want to make sure I get good contact, and I do that by keeping my hands low. I could do a whole video on that if needed, but I know this is going to go a bit to the right. We're not going to overthink this, just give ourselves a putt, right? Yeah, it's going to come up short, but we're alright. And now, this is the beauty of this strategy and why it's going to increase your confidence moving forward, is I actually have a natural par putt. You know, if I roll this in, it's a real life 4. But with this strategy, it's essentially a birdie putt. But I just want to ask you the question when you're playing, how many natural par putts do you have from 10 feet that was 6 iron, 7 iron chip? And this is a 370 yard par 4, technically. It's like, you want to start breaking the courses down that way, you're going to just give yourself a lot more looks at a lot more putts, and that's going to just build your confidence. But I know this is going to go to the left. I'm probably going to make this for the video, but if I don't, it don't matter. Again, it's playing it really as a 2 putt, not going to be super aggressive. Alright, so we'll just clean that up and get our par. Easy. Whenever you're tapping in like that for par, it's going to feel good, right? That means that you've done well on the hole, it means the strategy's working. On to the next one. Next hole is 500 yards. It's a par 6. We're still going to stick with the same strategy, and ideally the club that you're going to be hitting off the tee, if you hit your 5 iron well, you can use that, but what you want to do is have a replicable shot that's between 160 and 180 yards for this to work. For me, I just pure a 6 iron. It's usually about 185. So if you think about the maths of that, 185 times 3 is more than 500. So it means we've got no problem getting to the green in 3. And because we're playing it as a par 6. Alright, well this is going to be the not the personification, this is going to exactly exemplify why we're playing this way. Because I hit that probably maybe 70%. But you're going to see we're still going to have a shot down to the bottom of the hill. So if I'd have done the same thing with a driver, I probably wouldn't find my ball, probably wouldn't be in play, probably wouldn't have even a look at 5. Whereas from where I am now, it's going to be pretty much no problem. Alright, so this is where we ended up. We're in the first cut. We've still got a long way to go, and this is telling me that to get to the bottom of the bank, which is my goal, is 153. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up a little bit, 165, and just try and get into the bottom of that bank. We do have a little bit of tree coverage. I could also go low. I'm just trying to keep the ball in play and give myself a shot to the green. So I'm just going to hit a 7 iron, back of my stance, keep the ball low, bring it in over those trees, and just give ourselves a shot to the green in 3. Not the best tee shot, but as I said, as you can see, when you're using shorter clubs, your mistakes are not as amplified. If I'd have hit a driver on the same path, I'd probably be in those trees with no chance. So, do you want to come behind? Coming behind on a golf course. So I'm just going to put this back in my stance. My line is there because I know it's naturally going to fade. Get lucky. Oh yeah, perfect. Right on the top of the bank. That was nice. So now I'm just going to have a really smooth, probably 8 iron into the green. So 6, 7, 8, easy. Well, we actually got a right kick on down that bank. Surprised me, but this is saying 133 to the middle, out the rough. I know that my wedge full tilt is about 135, so we're just going to hit a 135. The pin's at the back, but we're not worried about that. I'm just going to put a good strike on it. Alright, bit left, but we're alright. Sit. I think that's just off the back of the green again. Not the best, but we're alright there for 3. This is actually pretty lit. We didn't carry the green. It's almost pin high. We caught that pretty good too. And it leaves us with, again, another natural, well actually the first natural birdie putt of the round, but we're not really playing for that. Technically I've got 3 putts to make par right. 2 is a birdie with this strategy, so again I'm just going to dolly it up. I've probably got, what, 25 feet here. I know it's going to go to the right. Just aiming for that 6 foot bin lid. Just put a nice positive stroke on it. Oh. Alright. Gave that a good run actually. So we've got this for a birdie. We get up on our scorecard. It's going to go to the left, just a touch. But you've got to be a sniper inside 6 feet in this game. Nice firm stroke back and through, get that ball rolling. That'll be 5. So we're now 1 under our handicap. And again, if you're starting to see how this strategy could play out for you, it's like that was a true 500 yard par 5, and we hit an average 6 iron off the tee. Pretty good stinger 7 iron, and then a wedge, 2 putts par. You know, golf doesn't have to be complicated, and the tee shot is a real testament to this strategy, because I really think with driver or 3-5 wood, it amplifies the mistake, right? And instead of that, we had first cut with a bunt out. So it's on to the next one. We're on the 3rd. This is a 306 yard par 5, which means we're going to easily get there in 3, if not 2. And this is where you've got to stay disciplined with this strategy, and this is why I intentionally took the long clubs out of the bag, because when you come out here, especially hitting it good, you could look at this hole and think, oh, I can hit driver 290, or I can hit driver 300, why not go for the green? And it's like, well, you could do that, but if you're trying to implement this strategy and actually do it, you don't want to give yourself the decision. Just take that fatigue away. It also means that you're going to have some people question it. They're going to be like, why aren't you hitting longer clubs? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? But they won't be questioning it when you're in the clubhouse and you're beaten by 4 shots. Guarantee that. So you have to make that decision. And it also means that you got to get kind of comfortable with playing relatively boring golf. Obviously the exciting shot here is like a high draw, driver to the front of the green, eagle putt, hitting a 6 iron, and then probably somewhere like a wedge or a 9 iron isn't glamorous. But again, if you're trying to tumble your scorecards, you got to give some stuff up that wasn't working. And this is a good way to do it. Oh, I pushed it again. It's the same. Sit. Oh, that took a great kick to the left. So again, I know I'm going to just keep... This is a repetitive strategy, and it's built for contingency, and it's built for amateur golfers that's going to have a lot of error. Like, I've pushed that probably 4 degrees, 6 degrees offline. I don't know degrees, but a pretty good way. And because it's only going 170, I'm still going to have a shot into the green. So just like the second hole, if that was driver, I'm probably off in the woods, no shot. So keep note of that. Keep paying attention. So as I envisioned off the tee, we've got a shot into the green, 120 yards to the middle, out the rough. This is actually a pretty tricky yardage for me recently. It's kind of like a knockdown wedge. That's what I'm going to play. I'm not sure I'd really recommend this, learning knockdown shots as a beginner, but you got to learn sometimes, and I'm going to be short or long if I play full shots with other clubs. So this is how I play a knockdown shot. I just grip here, take like an inch or 2 off the top, because that's going to reduce the full swing, and then I'm just aiming for about 10 o'clock and hoping to catch a little bit of a flyer. But look at that lie, terrible. Alright, kick. Go on. Alright, not the best. Distance control there, not the best. I need to work on that shot, but as you can see, we're chipping with F2, no problems. keep your hands low, always. Alright, we got a putt. Alright, little break to the right, but not much. So obviously that's a dreadful putt. Don't ever advise missing from 4 feet. We take a 5, which technically is par playing this strategy. And again, just want to highlight the fact that I did miss a 4-footer and I still only made bogey, right? So it's like by limiting our mistakes and just playing super steady, you're going to set yourself up for good chances. Like really, 4 feet, you should be making that. At most levels, 70%. My usual mate percent is 92 something from that distance, but I missed it. But I still take 5. We're still trucking on. Let's go. I know at this point of the video, some smart cat out there is saying things like, well, this isn't going to work on a real course. This isn't going to work on a hard course. And it's like, well, if we're playing Oakmont and you start teeing off with 6 iron, you're probably never going to reach a fairway. But I'm not playing Oakmont. We're not playing championships courses. This is my local municipal. This is very similar to a lot of courses I've played in the last 15-20 years of my amateur career. We just had a 500-yard par 5. This is a 300-yard par 4. This is just what regular amateur golf is like, so you can't really say that this strategy is bad because it wouldn't work on a championship course, because it's not designed for that. This is designed for dudes who want to get in the clubhouse with a good score and feel good about their game, and ultimately win prizes and win competitions. Because if you start this way, I'm going to show you in another video how to adapt this to the next stage of breaking 80, which is only a few small changes. So if that's you, you're the smart cat. Stay in the throwing peanuts or whatever that thing is, and we'll just keep making pars. Well, this is an extremely short par 4, 177 yards, but it's saying 165 to the middle. The pin I can see is at the front, but we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to play to the middle of the green and just get it up there, give ourselves no stress. So I'm going to take a 7 iron. Oh, that is a bad strike. Not bad though. Just pushing it. I'm really not feeling the irons too well today, but we're up there chipping a putt. We'll be good. It seems that my eyes just aren't working well again today. We actually pitched on the front edge of the green and we've got a pretty reasonable look at 2 from probably 25 feet away. So that's what we're going to do. But remember, we could technically 3-putt this and be okay. Always do your pitch marks. You sure? Oh. Alright. Left ourselves a tester. Kind of mishit that first putt, but we're alright. I eat these for breakfast. Firm in the back, and that's a birdie. Alright, this is stroke index 1, so we're definitely playing this as a par 5. Really it's going to be a par 5.5 on average, right? 6 here isn't the end of the world with this strategy. Because I've been pushing everything right, I'm still just going to play. Just aim for centre of the fairway and just let it leak if it needs to leak. But I feel like I'm going to get through one. Feeling pretty stiff this whole round. Definitely not hitting the best balls, but that's gotta go. Alright. Again, very C-grade strike, but we'll be up there, we'll be dry, and we'll be pretty good ways to the green. But we can get home in 3. It's saying that we are 243 yards to the green, which which obviously is out of range of my 6-iron. But if you find yourself in this position, we're always going to be playing it as a 3-shot, or even if I pured that off the tee. This is a 500-yard par 4, which is not going to be getting there 6-iron, 6-iron, but we can play 6-iron, 6-iron, wedge, putt, escape with 4. Alright, exactly what we wanted. Yep, no problems. And even though my iron striking is, for me, like a C right now, not really getting through, getting that high pushy fade, but still getting it down there. And it's like, this strategy still requires skill. You're not just going to break 90 without having some level of skill. But when it comes to actual game development, there's not that many skills that you need to practice to play this strategy. By eliminating all of those longer clubs, you can just focus on hitting pure mid-irons and then having a good short game. And if you have that as a stable base, that's what I built, was a stable base of really crisp mid-irons, solid short game, good clutch putting from 4 to 6 feet. You get that foundation in for like 2 years, 3 years, I'm telling you, you're going to just blitz past everybody else. You're going to be a super solid golfer. You're going to be hard to beat in competitions, and this is how you develop it. At least this is how I developed it. So here we are, look, stroke index 1, no lost balls. We've probably got a 40-yard chip. We're here for 2, no danger. Just going to take that gap wedge. Not even going to consider another club. Again, kind of like a stinky lie. And for these, I don't always take the yardage. I just do it more by feel. That's just my personal preference. But it's important that you still strike the ball. Never want to be pushing a golf ball. So again, anywhere inside 10 feet is a huge win. Gotta go. Alright, that is a pretty average chip. But we've got to put for par. Common theme here is going to be a lag putt, get it up to within that bin lid, give myself a look at par. I never like these ones putting through with the fringe there, but what can you do? Oh Lord. Okay, that's an interesting putt. Good length, good weight. Tricky green here. It's on a lift. Here's how you get good karma on the golf course. You take other people's pitch marks. Look at that. The golfing gods, they'll be watching. Alright. This is a clutch putt. This is for par. I've got all the grass in the world on my ball. I like to just hit these nice and firm, confident, never dilly-dally. Inside centre, nice and firm, good roll. And there we go. A nice, easy, relatively effortless 5 on technically the hardest hole on the course. And again, we hit 2 average 6-irons, an average chip, a good lag putt, and a solid 5-footer. So I'm hoping that you can see, as we're developing into this round, why this is so versatile. This is golf in a nutshell. I play with people here week in, week out that will take 7s, 8s on this hole, hitting it over here with driver, in the bin over there, coming short. And if they just learned to take an easy 6-iron or other club available, that can get you about 170. It's going to reduce stress. You're going to have more luck at good putts. It's going to make you want to come back more. Whew. I hope I'm selling you on this strategy. Another extremely short par 4, 148 yards, 145 yards to the middle of the green. I know, for a man like me, that's a 9-iron, smooth and crisp. So let's do that. 9-iron. Again, pin is at the front, by the bunker protected. We're just not going to worry about it. Not going to worry.
Smooth operator.
Smooth operator. Oh. Go on. It's up there somewhere. It might be putting. At worst, we're chipping. Let's try and make another birdie. We're putting again for 2 on a par 4. I mean, look at this. This is actually exceptionally makeable. Exceptionally makeable. Come on. Do it.
Come on.
He's got to leave himself a... Actually, it did go to the right. You got to leave yourself a 4-footer. I mean, if you don't do that, how can you test your nerves? How can you build that muscle for tournaments? If you're not doing it in practice, never up, never in, firm and through. Firm and through. Easy. You guessed it. We're another 6 iron off the tee. How far is this one? It's about 400 yards, right? 384 yards, par 5. And if you've already figured it out, we're going to play 6 iron, chip, putt. Maybe 6 iron if we hit them pure. We'll see. Not bad. Solid B+. Solid B+. Come on. A pretty tricky lie here. But we're about 195 out, so if I nut this, we could get there. Oh, go on. Go. Oh. We're in the front fringe. Chipping and a putting. This is a pretty familiar sight, isn't it? Just short of the green in 2. As kind of expected with the yardages, but no trouble, no lost balls, no problem, no stress. Nice easy chip shot. See if we can do a bit better than last time. It's going to go break just the right. Fancy chipping this one in. Go on, release. That's a way better chip. Best chip of it all day. That should be attacking. Look at that. Just beautiful. Roll them in quick. That's how you make an extremely stress-free 6 iron. 6 iron, chip, putt. Look at this, more calmer, more calmer. Just be that dude, be that dude. Right, we're going to mix things up off this tee, and we're going to go with 6 iron. Oh, missed that tree. Oh, that looked like it got another great kick to the left. I'm telling you, the golfing gods with the divots, they just kick it left. It's what they do. So again, this is another tricky par 5. It's all of 410 yards back into the wind. So we're going to be playing it as a 3-shotter, take our medicine, maybe walk off with a 4 birdie. It's almost the exact same story. This is 233 to the front edge.
Same story as well.
The last hole. Way too many yards for a club like this. But again, gonna just bend it round these trees, give ourselves a nice easy chip, and if I nut one and catch it absolutely pure with a good roll, you never know. You just never know. This suits my natural shape. I don't have to worry too much about shot shape in here. Oh my, go on then. Oh, that might be putting. So it's like golf jar vu. We've probably got 25-yard chip shot into the green, short in 2. That's like an atrocious bounce, but we're alright. We're alright there. That was a dreadful chip. But sometimes you just gotta hold these ones. But again, 2 putts here is nice. Yeah, this is going now, I think. Go on. Oh well, it's just how we do it really. That's how you make 4s, pappy. That's how you make birdies. Too easy. I just could see the line on that. I just knew. That's a funny putt, that is. Get in. Alright, we've 1 hole to play. Adding 1 shot to each hole's par. We're level par, 1 under, 1 under, 2 under, 2 under, 3 under, 4 under, 5 under. So we're 5 under our handicap of trying to break 90. Unless we go insane on 9, we're going to do it easily. And just on pure gross score on the actual pars, we're only 3 over. And that's interesting because we're playing off the backs. And when I played in the city tournament here with the full bag, on the both front 9s, I shot 4 over. So we're basically on track. This is a short par 5, par 6 with the strategy. I'm going to par or birdie this 8 times out of 10, really. So this strategy is going to actually outperform the strategy that I used in the city tournament when I had a full bag. And that doesn't mean that it's the best strategy, but it's consistent. It means that you're going to just give yourself a lot of looks at par putts. And I just really can't recommend it enough if you're struggling with your game. If you broke 100 and you're looking now to break 90, it's probably not going to come from swing changes, in my opinion. Like, ball striking is important, putting is important, chipping's important, sure. But the actual strategy and the mindset of the course is going to account for so much. And if you keep trying to do the same thing and expect different results, like maybe it's the next shaft, maybe it's hitting the ball a bit further, maybe it's this, maybe it's actually revisiting your strategy and seeing where you're leaking. Because if you're hitting them wild off the tee, if you're taking on danger shots, it's just going to add up. And if you look, I haven't even been close to a double bogey. Not even close. I've had, a couple of putts from inside 5 feet for bogey that I've made. But no, like, I'm staring down the barrel of a triple. So keep that in mind. Let's go make birdie and wrap this up. For one final time this evening, 6 iron off the tee. Why do you not use driver? You don't like driver? What I actually prefer, sir, is keeping the ball in the fairway and then giving myself lots of stress-free shots into the green or just short so I can make a nice little chip and a putt for par. Break 90. Well, that's a funny old strategy. Oh, I don't know about that. Well, you don't know about this, do you? Another positive is if there's a group in front of you, you're never going to hit them with a 6 iron. The only issue I've got here, I haven't even checked how far it is to the creek. If we put it in there, oh boy, will we be upset. Oh no, that could be wet, you know. Get lucky.
That's not wet.
Oh, we're not wet. We're short. That's the worst strike of the day. But again, let's reiterate the facts. We're not professionals. We're not going to stripe it 100% every time. And that's like a kind of chunky push fade. 6 irons probably carried maybe 140 yards. But I'm still in play. I ain't lost my ball. And I'm going to get on the green in 2. We're about 1,000 yards out here. But it doesn't matter. I can get there with 2 6 irons. Oh my life, the ball striking's eluded me. Go! Wowza, bowser. I don't know whether that's been fatigued or talking too much, but they are 2 very mediocre 6 irons. I guarantee If you've already broke 100, you're hitting a 6-iron better than that most times. So if you're not breaking 90 and you're struggling, it has to be a strategy thing, right? You've got to be thinking about that. Yes, short game is always the most important, and I know that I can scramble and putt real good on many different courses, but you just got to be thinking, man, if this guy, he's come out here and he's in an orange top and he's on a 450 yard par 5 and he's skunted 2 6-irons and he's still got a pretty good look to get up and down for a natural birdie, and using this, I'm definitely going to make 5 and a birdie. So is he on repeat? Is he saying the same things? Hopefully it's sinking in that this is the way, or a way. How long we got here? Oh, look at this, laid up in 2. Oh my life. And interestingly, if I do play driver in the bag and I absolutely cork one off the tee, I can get it to here in 1. But I also can go right, left, and it's like just outweighing risk reward, right? So this is 148 to the middle of the green. We know that for a player like us is a 9-iron. So we're going to grab a little 9-iron, which is an upside down 6, if you think about that. And if we put a good strike on this, we could be looking at serious. Come on, I haven't hit the ball good these last 2 holes. Oh, it's leaking. We're putting that. Yep, we're definitely. It's a pretty nice way to finish, you know. If you're playing that as a par 5, 460 yards. Is it a short par 5? Yeah, that is a short par 5. But at the courses you play at, the courses I play at, that's going to be a common occurrence where you have par 5s under 500 yards. It just is. And everybody on the day is going to be playing the same length, right? So if you can scab 2 6-irons and then hit a 9-iron, I've probably got 20 feet for birdie. Come on. And what can't be understated in the game of golf, especially when you're new, is what is going on mentally in between shots. Because if in between shots you're worried about finding your ball, are you going to have a shot in, what's your lie going to be, how are you going to make a good score from there, you add those up over 3-4 hours, it's going to drain you mentally. It's so much more freeing. If I was like looking at my playing partners playing, just hanging out, could have a drink, no stress, and then when it's time to go, I know that I'm just going to be putting, amplify that over 4 hours, super chill. You're going to waste way less energy, and that's only going to be good for you, right? So you got to think about all these intangible benefits to playing a game like this. Oh, look at this. What we got here? A pink, well, purple AccuFly Max Soft. Who's playing that? Who wakes up and thinks, you know what I'm going to play today? I'm going to play a purple Max Soft AccuFly. I might just go into the bunker, honestly. Look at that. 20 feet for birdie. Imagine I roll that in. Come on now. Go on. Oh. No way, dude. Disqualified, that round doesn't count. Oh, that's the easiest 5 you're ever going to see. Look at that. Dispatched. What else to say? Play sensible. Win. 10, 18, 23, 26, 30, 39. You double 39, what do you get? You get 78. So you'd actually break 80 playing that strategy if you were to repeat that through 9 holes. And there's going to be cats out there saying, how can you call it a break 90 video when you only played 9 holes? I think you've seen enough to think, oh, he could probably just do that for 36 holes in a row, because it's very low stress, really easy, really good course management, and you can do that at your course. So we broke 80, really 3 over off the whites, playing a 6-iron off the tee. What else is there to say, honey?
Keep sharking.
Keep sharking. I really do believe that you should keep sharking, keep excelling, keep having fun in the game, but keep finding ways to get better because it feels good. There was a time in my life where breaking 40 on a 9 like that was like a stress. It was hard work. Even playing the 6-iron strategy, that wouldn't have been straightforward because my chipping and putting wasn't as good. And golf's very rewarding that way, that you keep chipping away, you keep sharking, you keep doing your best, and it will make you feel good. And it's worthwhile. So have fun. Much love. Thanks for watching. But if you play purple AccuFlies, get off this channel. Just get out of my life. Unsubscribe. If this is you, I find that in your bag. Unsubscribe, delete. Don't want to know about it.